In-game live on a Monday night. It is great to be with all of you right here on SportsGrid. Kevin Walsh, Gabriel Morency, Major League Baseball, WNBA taking center stage here. Also, more and more, I think that football buzz, right? Feels like every training camp now starting to get a storyline going here. Eagles and Lane Johnson, Buffalo Bills. And it was one thing when they didn't like the uniforms. Maybe no one likes the stadium now. Not my favorite vibes. I'm just saying that's the early reports out of Buffalo. Gabe, how are you feeling, man?
We're ready to rock. Let's do this thing. We're heading into the part of the baseball season now where these games do count. You know, I'm a big believer that, you know, the games in April count as much as they do as they do in September. And you want to get the wins when you can, but you know, the playoff and the wild card chase is on right now. And as you stated, there's football fever in the air. Listen, I've been locked in. I went to a CFL game over the weekend, but we have a full slate of football on Thursday, Kevin. We have more football on Friday. We have more football on Saturday. So we've got, like, you know, every team will be in action. The storylines will start to produce themselves. You know, the Carson Becks, the Hayne Kings story of the world. And, of course, injuries will continue to happen. We are now 17 days away from the start of the college football season, too.
It's incredible. It is
17 days.
It's close. It's close. We're on our way, which is fantastic. Speaking of injuries, Haynes King got injured. So I hope you enjoyed costing me money, kid. Cost you a potential shot on the Panthers roster. That was meaner than I wanted it to be, but I am still a little annoyed at how that game all went here. Look, Gabe, at 7:07, the red-hot Boston Red Sox are going to host the Toronto Blue Jays. And, you know, it's a Blue Jays team who nearly pulled off a sweep of the Philadelphia Phillies. But I go back and forth on this occasionally. You know, Gabe will catch me at a moment where he's starting to be like, you know, Toronto, get on a run. I'm like, I buy it. And then there's moments when I realize there's 7 games under 500, 110 games into their season, and they're obviously not making the playoffs. But I assume, Gabe, your thought heading, and I'm just assuming, I don't know, but they were on the GIF. I feel like you and I like to, you know, give a little tell when we tweet the GIF out. 4 in a row versus Boston at home, 4 in a row 3 in a row against the Yankees at home. It's now or never for the Blue Jays?
Yeah, I don't know who does the song "This Is It," but I'm sure there's a bunch of songs called "This Is It" over the years. This is it right now for the Toronto Blue Jays. They have the teams ahead of them that they are playing right now, and they've never really gone on a run at all. They're only 3.5 games back, but as Kevin alluded, they got a million teams ahead of them. But with that being stated, I'm attracted by the price tonight, plus 143 for the Toronto Blue Jays. Jamison Tyon on the hill for the Blue Jays. And, yeah, he doesn't have pretty numbers, but the Boston Red Sox don't hit him for whatever reason. And I'm surprised how few of them have actually seen him. It's only 6 players on the Red Sox that have batted against them. 60 at-bats is a pretty big sample size. They're hitting 200 against him. So he has had success against the Toronto, the Boston Red Sox hitters. And conversely, on the other side, Sonny Gray on the hill had his worst game of the year against the Toronto Blue Jays earlier this year. Gave up 10 hits, gave up 5 runs. So, you know what? I'm going to ride the number here that even if it's not pretty, Kevin, if you'll notice, the Blue Jays are winning more series than they're losing now. They keep on just sort of taking 2 or 3 in these series lately.
They're playing better, right? You got to imagine, you know, you can't go 0-7 on a Vlad home run prop in this little home stand.
For the record, I put it in. Plus 700. Plus 700. Now, he snapped the 18-game homerless streak by going deep, and, you know, maybe Zach Wheeler should worry about the Philadelphia Phillies, right, more so than the Toronto Blue Jays. And for people that missed it, the Blue Jays were convinced that he pitches illegally, that his foot is not on the rubber. And they complained about it. I don't know if you saw, it went back and forth. It got pretty ugly, like a lot of smack talk going back and forth during the game with them, telling them to F off each other and this and that and all the other stuff. Then after the game, he said, well, you know, that team, they haven't won a lot of games this year. I understand why they're frustrated. I'm thinking, dude, I worry about the Phillies, and I wouldn't be giving the Blue Jays bulletin material, and the Blue Jays ended up winning the series after.
Yeah, but also, quite frankly, I mean, he's not wrong. right? I mean, they haven't won a ton of games this year.
Yeah, but
There's been a dark cloud over them all season.
They were in the World Series last year. I don't remember the Phillies in the World Series last year.
I understand that. The Phillies, it's not like it was all that long ago that the Phillies were in the World Series. The Phillies have been the more successful franchise in recent league history. And ultimately, it's not Zach Wheeler's mouth that allowed their bullpen to blow a bunch of games.
No, but there's a code in baseball. Like, you don't talk about other teams. Like, really. Not to mention, he didn't deny what they said he did, which he was doing, right? Which he was.
I mean, he essentially, he might as well have said their logo is blue and red. He said, yeah, they're probably frustrated. They lost a lot of games. He didn't say they're bad baseball players. Like, what do you?
It was
okay. We are getting to the point now where everyone wants the Blue Jays to be treated like they've won 80 games. They're not good.
No,
it's okay.
No, but neither are the Philadelphia Phillies. What are the Phillies?
They're much better.
Yeah, so what? They haven't won anything. Like, when's the last time the Phillies won anything?
Again, more recently than Toronto, but we're talking about this season. The Phillies are the better baseball team. That's not
good
up for debate.
No, but it doesn't mean anything. Who cares? Good for them.
I mean, the fan base is probably, there's a reason why every night we wonder, can Toronto maybe win a third game in a row? And the Phillies have been...
Let's see. Let's talk in mid-October about how Philadelphia Philly fans are feeling. But without being stated, I like the Blue Jays. They'll be talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs in October.
Well, but by that measure, the Phillies might as well miss the playoffs because the Eagles start and LeBron's a Sixer. So quite honestly,
that'll be good. Here. That could actually be good for them. Right? When the Sixers start off 2-6, it'll bury the storyline that the Phillies just got bounced.
Listen, again, the Phillies, unless they're in the World Series, they'll be third in the city by a big margin when all of that, other stuff.
Listen, the Phillies are a dangerous team. They are a dangerous team. Yeah. But I don't view them as like they're one of those teams that they can win in any series they play in, but they can lose in any series they play in as well.
This is off the cuff. It might not be a perfect comparison, but they are a little Buffalo Billsian. They're always in the mix. They knock on the door. Yeah, I mean, I know it's going to sound annoying to the Bills fans, despite the fact that Phillies have been to a World Series. I know, right? You know what I mean? Like, I understand.
It's a bad comparison. It's a bad comparison.
Now, again,
this is what I do today. Like we're starting off.
Just to be clear, the comparison is bad because the Bills are better than the Phillies. I just want to be sure that that's what we're going with, Buffalo fans. I just want to be sure that's what we're going with.
No, they're not the same comparison. Not the same franchise.
They're not Bills are the. It's not a friend. No, recent history.
The Bills are closer to the Cleveland Guardians.
No.
Yes.
The Guardians just kind of like sneak over five. Again, historically, sure. I'm talking about the Josh Allen Bills and the Bryce Harper Phillies.
Well, you know who the Bills are actually? They're San Diego. The Bills are San Diego. They're kind of stacked. They're sort of right there.
Because the Dodgers are the Chiefs.
I'm giving the Phillies the nod only because, they're right. They've actually, they make, there's a comparison. There's a comparison I could see. The Phillies are kind of overaged, though. That's the thing.
Apparently, hold on a second. First of all, I must not be doing good on bad take day. I got you to agree with me inside the segment. I do appreciate you saying that the Phillies are overrated, but again, like the Bills, listen, it's going to be a fun football season, guys.
I'm just saying the Bills aren't the Phillies. That's not the right comparison. There's other baseball teams that they're the comparison.
Rice has made a World Series with Philadelphia. The Bills have not made a Super Bowl with Josh Allen. We'll be right back.
For me, Ohtani is the MVP, even if he pitches 15 games a year and that's it. The guy's the best hitter in baseball, or one of them, and pitches, even if it's 15 games a year and he's great, sign me up. I think he still wins, but I think I like the other investments there.
Yeah, I would say we're in total agreement on this. Ohtani's going to win the award, but that doesn't mean that A, he's a good investment at this point, and B, another player isn't a good investment.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
What Michigan have to play versus Penn State is insane. Like, instead of Big Ten teams worrying about SEC and all that, like, Michigan fans should not be happy about what Matt Campbell gets to walk into. James Franklin's got to be kicking himself. Penn State do not play Oregon, Indiana, or Ohio State. They avoided the entire Big Three of the it's incredible.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
You know, the dark days are ahead for the Warriors. And when Curry and Kerr and Draymond all leave, what are we going to be looking at that franchise that has been a mainstay of the NBA, you know, the face of the NBA and NBA playoffs for so long? Where are they going to be? So I see no issue with them bringing Draymond back. Why not? You have one last go at things with the trio that they still have there. But I see this as a very long season.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Just can't win the big game. He can't get us in the big game. Well, we got to let him go now because we're tired. We'll keep the quarterback. So, you know what I've been saying? Okay, you kept the quarterback. Guess what? Mr. Lamar Jackson, it's on you now.
Hey,
It's on you.
Absolutely.
Right? It's on Lamar.
It is. It is totally on him now and the new coaching staff there.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Back right here on SportsGrid. Great to again be with everybody on a Monday night. Major League Baseball board off and running in Toronto. Jays, Red Sox. You know, it's so funny, man, this Boston thing. We understandably are like, hey, like, you know, can they catch Tampa? The Rays are on a 6-game winning streak. Boston lost 2 in a row to the A's. They're 7 back. The Yankees are 5.5 back, 6 in the loss column. I don't know. Like, it probably not is the answer to that question. And at some point, if Tampa does just keep winning and they're going to have a bye, it's a huge advantage that, again, is probably being overlooked when we talk about the futures market, Gabe.
Yeah, people don't buy into Tampa. The public, they're not a public team, right? They don't have superstars. They're not talked about. They're never on television. People don't see them. Like, only hardcore baseball fans really know the Tampa Bay Rays players. And it's hard to sort of, you know, not believe in them once they get to the playoffs as well, right? Like, I believe in Boston winning a series more than I do in Tampa. You know, the Yankees have shown that they can win in the playoffs, right? They were in the World Series 2 years ago with basically the same team, and Yankees have great pitching. So I'm not ready to say, yeah, the Rays, like, maybe I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I know it's not like I'm always right. Maybe I'm wrong about the Rays, and they're better than we realize they are. But if I had to pick one team to go to the World Series from the American League right now, it wouldn't be the Tampa Bay Rays.
I agree with you. But I'm wondering if that, I don't know, is there an argument that there is still value on Tampa Bay? Or no, like I saw the thing you retweeted today. Like, should we be trying to figure out who's going to win the Central, or like just the Astros here? And that's where the value in this is really going to be. You know,
that's
the 2
That's
seed.
sort of a team that I do think people are kind of sleeping on a little bit. Another team with pedigree, another team that's had a ton of injuries, that just sort of finds a way to win. Another team with players that have played well in the postseason before. So there's a lot to like about this Houston Astro team.
Best hitter in baseball this season, right?
Yeah.
Jordan Alvarez with the Triple Crown.
And we've seen Alvarez do damage in the playoffs. Like, he is that guy that you have to intentionally walk in certain situations. You know what I mean? Like, he can impact you know, it's a 3-3 game, man. You got runners on. You got decisions to make when Alvarez is coming up, right? Like, he's that type of impact player. So, there's something about the Astros. I don't want to say it's too early yet because there's going to be collapses still along the way, right?
Yeah.
You know, we haven't even come around the turn yet. We're not down the stretch in a horse race, but we're sort of coming around that, not the last turn, but the second, and you know what I mean? It's getting important now. Like the positioning, you know, to get ready coming down the stretch is important now. But, I mean, Boston can't keep this pace up, I don't believe, right? That's what we keep waiting for, right? They stumbled a little bit this weekend. They have runners on first and second right now, but Tyon's doing a good job of trying to get out of this. He's got 1 and 2 count now with 2 out. So we'll see if the Jays can get out of this. I'll tell you too, Kevin. I don't know if you see this game right now, but looks like a playoff game. Like the stadium is packed. Full house in Toronto tonight. I'm not saying it's a sellout. I know it's a bobblehead night tonight too. Which I don't know who, which I'm trying to find out. I just saw people coming in because I swear to God, guys, if there is a team whose players seemingly hit home runs on their bobblehead night, it's the Toronto Blue Jays. Who is it tonight? I saw
they don't usually tweet that stuff out.
Yeah, it wasn't on their official account, but they showed people coming in and being handed a bobblehead when I saw it for the game.
Back-to-back replica statue giveaway.
Oh.
It's
not a player. It's them winning in 92 and 93.
It's the guy rounding the bases, throwing his hands up in the air.
Joe Carter.
Yeah. Joe Carter. It's a Joe Carter like plaque basically, and it says back-to-back.
All right, so
World
nobody
Series
can hit.
champion.
So yeah, it doesn't come into play tonight then. Because I want to bring that up. But I did play Vladimir Guerrero. Listen, Vladimir Guerrero used to be plus 400, plus 350 and stuff, right? But he hits so few home runs right now, the market finally has adjusted. I remember betting him on the last homestand, if you recall. And I didn't win. Mm-hmm. And I tapped out after like 3 games, whatever. You know what I mean? Football pops up and I forget or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But like,
yeah,
he finally hit one over the weekend, right? 18 games without a home run. It was on the road. He's got to hit one this week at home, bro. It's got to come. Plus 700, like, I mean, if we can hit it the first couple of games, I think he can get it going actually after. But I played it tonight, plus 700, Vlad Guerrero Jr. to go deep.
Yeah, I think the fact that he hit one against Philly is nice because, you know what I mean? You know, to cross sports, you just saw one go through the basket.
And he's not hitting 232 or anything either, right, Kevin? Like, it's not one of these, like, you always Cal Rowley, like, he is hitting like 264 or whatever. He's been lingering around 265, 270 all year.
He's not Cal Raleigh, 100%. The 2 issues is his last 2 seasons, 290, 320. And also, Gabe, I know you'll remember, this is a guy who, at the end of April, was hitting 354. So to be hitting 260 now.
Yeah.
Like
well, that's the thing. He's not a pure power hitter, right? He's not a guy that's supposed to hit 55 home runs. But he is a great hitter, right? He is a great hitter. Like, he should wake up and bat 300, this guy, right? But we've talked about it. His stubbornness, he doesn't want to adjust. It's worked for him, and he's going to fight through it. But, so yeah, he's hitting 261, 7 home runs, 46 RBIs, 107 hits coming in to tonight. There's still time for him to do damage this year. But I just want to point out, yeah, it's not like he's hitting 197 and he can't hit the ball at all, right? I mean, he is hitting 261. In which today's baseball is actually pretty good, like, to be honest.
I do think guys hit maybe a bit better than you give them credit for, just across the sport, but
not really.
I don't know. Maybe not. It depends. I don't know what the bar that you're looking for is. No one's excited. First of all, no one is certainly excited about Vlad Jr. hitting 261.
No.
Like, that's not.
No.
That's a
no, and I'm not making that argument, but I'm just saying as a whole, it's a new league now. All people really care about is home runs and power, right? Or extra bases, etc. Look at Luis Ariz. No one cares about him. No one likes him. He gets traded every year.
Shouldn't.
For me, Ohtani is the MVP, even if he pitches 15 games a year and that's it. The guy's the best hitter in baseball, or one of them, and pitches, even if it's 15 games a year and he's great. Sign me up. I think he still wins, but I think I like the other investments there.
Yeah, I would say we're in total agreement on this. Ohtani's going to win the award, but that doesn't mean that A, he's a good investment at this point, and B, another player isn't a good investment.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
What Michigan have to play versus Penn State is insane. Like, instead of Big Ten teams worrying about SEC and all that, like, Michigan fans should not be happy about what Matt Campbell gets to walk into. James Franklin's got to be kicking himself. Penn State do not play Oregon, Indiana, or Ohio State. They avoided the entire Big Three of the it's incredible.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
You know, the dark days are ahead for the Warriors. And when Curry and Kerr and Draymond all leave, what are we going to be looking at that franchise that has been a mainstay of the NBA, you know, the face of the NBA and NBA playoffs for so long? Where are they going to be? So I see no issue with them bringing Draymond back. Why not? You have one last go at things with the trio that they still have there. But I see this as a very long season.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Just can't win the big game. He can't get us in the big game. Well, we got to let him go now because we're tired. We'll keep the quarterback. So, you know what I've been saying? Okay, you kept the quarterback. Guess what? Mr. Lamar Jackson, it's on you now.
Hey,
It's on you.
Absolutely.
Right? It's on Lamar.
It is totally on him now and the new coaching staff there.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Back with you guys right here on In Game Live. Let me just get to a 740 baseball pick just because I don't want to miss it. Dean Kremer traded to the We Think We're Contending Twins off of the I guess we're not in the mix Orioles. Is going against the Orioles. There is a half game difference of these teams. They both have 61 losses. I like Baltimore here. Tyler Rogers much better than Dean Kremer. The Orioles know that as well as anybody. And I'm getting a pretty good price. Like, I think advantage, Gabe, if you were to say going against an old team first time, advantage hitter or pitcher, I would say hitter. I would say this roster has Kremer scouted better than anybody else. So I took a play here on Baltimore, again, who hilariously, if they win this game, will have a better record than the Minnesota Twins, who bought Dean Kremer at the deadline.
It is an interesting dynamic, isn't it? You have a bunch of players that played behind a guy, right? And know everything. You know, I don't know. It's always that debate, too, like when a coach with the quarterback and stuff after. You know what I mean? Yeah, I was the coordinator there, and I know what the quarterback doesn't like. Yeah, but they also know what you know. So, you know what I mean? It's one of those, like, yeah, you know, but so do they know you know, right? It's one of those. Yeah. So it's a real chess match. And also, Kremer's also going to know, hey, this guy can't hit this pitch at all. I've seen him miss this a million times. Like, so, like, you know what I mean? He's going to know sitting in the dugout, oh, God, yeah, he swung at that again. So yeah, it is kind of fascinating here, but I don't have a lot of confidence in the Twins. I've stepped up a couple of times to be cute with them. I actually thought they could go over their season win total this year, and I think they will still. But they're one of these teams that every time I step up, they seem to lose. Like, it's one of those. I saw you posted, you were excited about the baseball card tonight. I like the West Coast card tonight. The East Coast stuff, like, what do you think of the Mets and Braves game?
Yeah, no, I actually
the Braves were kind of underpriced, but I didn't pull the trigger because I almost felt like the odds makers knew something. And also, the Mets have been playing good baseball for the last couple of weeks.
Just like they're so good at torturing their fans. Yes, they have been playing really good baseball. I had
there's no pressure now, right? They're just out there playing now. It's just like, yeah, whatever, let's just play.
One of my
once
close
the fans
buddies,
have given up, Kevin.
Yes,
once the team like fans give up, that's when sometimes teams will be like, no one cares anymore, anyways, and then they sort of start to play better. It's weird.
I texted my buddy. It was his birthday. I said, he's a big Met fan. I said, hopefully they'll get a win for you on your birthday, if that still matters. He goes, couldn't care less, don't watch, I'm still riding the Knicks high. Which is like almost a little sad. Like, that was June. You know what I mean? I'm like, it's been like 2 months.
For the record, it hasn't come up on this show today, but it happens to be my birthday today.
Whoa! Happy birthday!
And thank you. And I kind of thought
that's awesome.
I kind of thought about it though, like do I have like automatic birthday win days? You know what I mean? Like in the past, and I'm thinking no, because I don't remember. If I did, I would remember. So
yeah, that's a good point.
Like, yeah. So it's not like, oh yeah, I never lose on my birthday. That's not really the case. But it did cross my mind when you said that, Kevin Ollie. That's why I brought it up. It popped in my head earlier today. I was like, yeah, Dodgers can't screw me on my birthday with Scooble pitches. Thinking like, it's my birthday, it's Scooble, I'm going run and a half. I'm like, yeah, like, come on. Yeah, it's my birthday. Scooble's first start as a Dodger at home. Let's go. You know what I mean? This is the one.
I agree. I actually completely agree. I think sometimes you have to be allowed.
That's the birthday bet. That's the birthday bet.
Like that.
I'm just betting 100%. The Dodgers. Yeah.
100%. I have, look, I mentioned it now. We'll talk more about Scooble expectations at home first time. It was minus 135 on DK. Dodgers to score the first run. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Noah Cameron, who's on the best 3-game stretch of his entire life. It's outrageous. He's gone 7 innings, 8 innings, and has allowed 1 earned run, struck out 7 batters in 3 straight. It almost sounds like London Bridge is falling down to me eventually on Noah Cameron. 3 Scooble. A minus 280 favorite. I get minus 135. They score first. I'll take my chances with that game.
Total 7.5. And Scooble gave up 2 runs in his start at Wrigley, yet they were both really, like, gratuitous. Like, basically, he really had bad luck. Like, he was pitching great, and Kyle Tucker dropped the ball at the wall. It wasn't an error. I just thought he should have caught it for all the, you know what I mean? I'll finally say, for all the money you make, catch the damn ball in Scooble's debut. You know what I'm saying? Because he got there, and he dropped it. So it's one of those, dude, like, you got there, so why would you drop it? Like, you were there. Like, so, and then it was one of those sky-high bouncers that they scored a run off. There's nothing they can really do about it.
We'll get more into Tariq Scooble next.
For me, Ohtani is the MVP, even if he pitches 15 games a year and that's it. The guy's the best hitter in baseball, or one of them, and pitches, even if it's 15 games a year and he's great, sign me up. I think he still wins, but I think I like the other investments there.
Yeah, I would say we're in total agreement on this. Ohtani's going to win the award, but that doesn't mean that A, he's a good investment at this point, and B, another player isn't a good investment.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
What Michigan have to play versus Penn State is insane. Like, instead of Big Ten teams worrying about SEC and all that, like, Michigan fans should not be happy about what Matt Campbell gets to walk into. James Franklin's got to be kicking himself. Penn State do not play Oregon, Indiana, or Ohio State. They avoided the entire Big Three of the it's incredible.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
You know, the dark days are ahead for the Warriors. And when Curry and Kerr and Draymond all leave, what are we going to be looking at that franchise that has been a mainstay of the NBA, you know, the face of the NBA and NBA playoffs for so long? Where are they going to be? So I see no issue with them bringing Draymond back. Why not? You have one last go at things with the trio that they still have there. But I see this as a very long season.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Just can't win the big game. He can't get us in the big game. Well, we got to let him go now because we're tired. We'll keep the quarterback. So, you know what I've been saying? Okay, you kept the quarterback. Guess what? Mr. Lamar Jackson, it's on you now.
Hey,
It's on you.
Absolutely.
Right? It's on Lamar.
It is totally on him now and the new coaching staff there.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
in-game live, before we get back to the board, a text came across my desk that I had a feeling was coming if they were watching. From my dad, please tell Gabe happy birthday from the Walsh family. I knew if he was watching, Gabe, he would pass that along. So a very happy birthday to you. I think that we'll see. He doesn't like the Dodgers. I'm sure you're not surprised, but maybe he'll root the Dodgers in for you tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say, too, I might be closer to your father's age than your age even, actually.
Think so.
Yeah, after these years right now. But we appreciate it. As Sam said, happy 35th birthday. So
yes.
we'll take it. we'll take it.
You know what? Yeah, I'll give you a quick. Hold on, I'll give you a quick good one. I'll give you a good one. I don't remember where it was, but it was me, you, and Lisi. And for some reason, you went, what are you laughing at? To me and Lisi both look younger than you. That was real good. Lisi liked that one a little too much for my liking, though. That's why it stuck with me a little bit. So, yes, you're 35. Lisi's like 25. When we're rolling.
Yeah, well, Lisi, I think Lisi probably tells people he's 25, actually, when he meets them.
I'm pretty sure, too. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but you know what? You get older, whatever. It's a birthday. It's Monday. We did, we went out. We went to the football game on Saturday. BC Lions got the W, actually, which was cool. And we won a bunch of bets on the game. But next week, we've made it 25 years. SportsGrid started in 2002. So it's our 25th anniversary. It's actually in January, but I'm not going to do a bunch of shows when it's freezing cold and stuff on the East Coast. So it started in Montreal, and we're going to go back. We don't go back often. I haven't done a live show in Montreal in, I don't know, like 18 years or something crazy like that. So we're going back to Montreal. We're going to hook up with Cam and company in Toronto next Friday night as well. So I'm sort of going to, that'll be the birthday bash, so to speak. Sports
awesome.
Rage birthday sort of combined, and a lot of old school fans and viewers and listeners and stuff like that I see online that I don't get back to the East Coast very often. I'm not going to do like a 26th anniversary tour, Kevin. You know what I'm saying? Or 27th? You know what I mean? Like 25 is a big one. You know what I'm saying? Like if we make it to 30, let's talk in 5 years.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, that would be good if you just didn't even do the 25th. Like, all right, guys, 26th anniversary.
Yeah.
Oh, why 26? It's like,
well, I did a 20th. I did a few 20th ones. Like, you know what I mean? I did a few live events and live shows and stuff, but it's kind of weird. I was like, 22nd, 23rd. It was kind of like, the next one doesn't really matter until 25 now. No one cares. I got to skip to 25. So, we're getting to the finish line. We're getting, for the 25 years, but we're looking forward to it. And like I said, it's just that buzz in the air right now. Football is back. College football 17 days away. We got the preseason. I want to take a look at some of those numbers. Me and Kevin were talking about the Vikings and the Giant game last week. That's going to a lot of eyes going to be on that game, right? The Giants are a very public team coming into the season this year, and then you got that quarterback battle going on in Minnesota. So it's an ideal preseason game to bet on. And today, Major League Baseball announced their playoff schedule, Kevin. Right? So, and NHL is starting earlier than it's ever started before. NHL starts September the 29th, and NBA basketball is right around the corner.
They're releasing their schedule this week. Tomorrow, they're going to announce opening night and Christmas.
Well, something tells me LeBron will be on it.
What I will say, yes. We will get lines. Usually the sports book, Gabe, for opening day and Christmas, we'll pop them. So I actually think we'll talk a little tomorrow. I think rightfully, how are they going to price this Sixers team out of the gate? I think it's going to be very interesting.
They were I'm surprised, about their win total. It's not higher. We'll see if it goes up. Not a lot of people are betting their win totals now. Like when I said, I don't know if LeBron is worth five games. But I think they were underpriced to begin with. Like it was 48.5 before LeBron got there, Kevin. That was too light, bro. With Jaylen Brown there, that was too light to begin with.
In the market.
So while I don't think LeBron is worth 5 games, I don't know if I want to say that this team doesn't win 55 games this year, 54, 56, etc.
Yeah, and I think that number, I think the number came back. I'm seeing right now, I'm seeing a 49.5 at minus 120. I
Really?
think sometimes this is where people get caught a little bit, Gabe. People like to fade LeBron. People aren't realizing this isn't a normal
remember,
LeBron team.
That was my initial thing that when it happened. I said, under 53.5. I said, that's not 5 games. And that was sort of the sharp in me. And I think the real pros actually said,
market agrees with you.
Boom, I'm dropping down 2 dimes on this, 5 dimes. And it started to move the number, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But that's where.
But they do that in every sport. They like to fade the team. Like, you know what I mean? Hey, Aaron Rodgers, going to the Jets. Let's fade it. Right?
Yep.
Let's fade it. Just quickly, as long as the NBA, my favorite post of the day today I saw was Norman Powell. Norman Powell on the Chicago Bulls now. He said, we have the potential to be really, really good or really, really bad.
I saw that, and I think why I appreciated that from Norman is that is how I was reminded he was even on the Chicago Bulls. Like, if somebody would have hit me on the street, like, hey, where's Norman Powell? I would have struck out.
He was on Miami.
He was on Miami, and then they couldn't re-sign
Portland,
him.
Well, whatever. Toronto, Portland, Miami, yeah.
Yeah.
He is pretty good, though, for a player that scores, right?
He's a 20-a-night guy now. He's really established himself in that way. Let me just throw this at you, though, since we're talking basketball, because I think we agree on this. I think opening night will be Knicks Sixers. That's my guess. Knicks at home. If I put you on the spot, what that number looks like, I'll tell. I think Knicks minus 4.5. That's my guess.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, actually. Yeah, Knicks minus 4.5 or so. Because the Knicks aren't like, they're not known as like a covering machine. And I also will say, even though they were a covering machine in the playoffs, but you know what I mean? Like, they're not like, they blow everyone out by 22. You know what I mean? Like, but I will say this, and I think that so-called sharp market, Kevin, will be looking to fade the Knicks, too. How much of that hunger is going to be there for this team moving forward? I mean, I see Jalen Brunson out every night still. Like, these parties, this and that. Like, is there a team that is soaked this up? Like, I'm not going to quite say as much as Ovechkin with the Washington Capitals, who I still think is partying. Like, he went for like 2 years, Kevin.
Yeah.
Like, he basically even said once, like, I don't care if we go 0-82 this year.
Yeah.
I won the effing cup, F off. And he was drinking what he said it. Like, someone said, hey, you ever going to slow down? Like, it was like 4 months after he won. And he said, no, I'm not. He was like, no.
Good.
He was just going. He said, I won. He goes, I don't care if we go 0-82. And then he even admitted, he goes, it took about 2 years. And then I sort of realized, I can't just lose all the time because we won once. Like, he sort of like, he kind of like kicked in a bit that, like, but he's Russian. He admitted it. Yeah, I won the cup. And I took the pedal off the metal and I got hammered and I lived my dream. I kind of get that feeling, now with the Knicks, they're going to have that same hunger. It's going to be a little bit different. Now everyone's going to be gunning for them, too. You know what it's like. I don't know as a Bills fan, but I know as a Dodger fan, when you win, teams come for you, right? You got a target on your back.
And let's be, look, they've had a loud offseason. Cat isn't getting an extension because it looks like they want to play cute with the money. And I want to be very clear about something, because LeBron and Jaylen Brown, they go to the Sixers and people are like, they're not the best team in the East. The Knicks are the best team in the East. Let's remember a couple of things. Nobody thought the Knicks were the best team in the East until they won the East, okay? Or at least until the conference finals. Nobody thought that. Secondly, none of the defending champions make it back to the finals. Guys, you don't have to pick the Sixers. You're crazy if you think the Knicks are going back to the NBA finals. I think that is truly insane to think that they're going to be the team to break that streak. Thunder, Jokic in Denver, Boston and Tatum, the Knicks are going to be the one to go back-to-back. That's crazy, guys. I'm sorry.
Especially with their health issues. It's not like they're it's not like they're a super young team, Kevin, like Oklahoma City or something.
Oh, Giannotti got hurt this postseason.
For me, Ohtani is the MVP, even if he pitches 15 games a year and that's it. The guy's the best hitter in baseball, or one of them, and pitches, even if it's 15 games a year and he's great, sign me up. I think he still wins, but I think I like the other investments there.
Yeah, I would say we're in total agreement on this. Ohtani's going to win the award, but that doesn't mean that A, he's a good investment at this point, and B, another player isn't a good investment.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
What Michigan have to play versus Penn State is insane. Like, instead of Big Ten teams worrying about SEC and all that, like, Michigan fans should not be happy about what Matt Campbell gets to walk into. James Franklin's got to be kicking himself. Penn State do not play Oregon, Indiana, or Ohio State. They avoided the entire Big Three of the it's incredible.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
You know, the dark days are ahead for the Warriors. And when Curry and Kerr and Draymond all leave, what are we going to be looking at that franchise that has been a mainstay of the NBA, you know, the face of the NBA and NBA playoffs for so long? Where are they going to be? So I see no issue with them bringing Draymond back. Why not? You have one last go at things with the trio that they still have there. But I see this as a very long season.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Just can't win the big game. He can't get us in the big game. Well, we got to let him go now because we're tired. We'll keep the quarterback. So, you know what I've been saying? Okay, you kept the quarterback. Guess what? Mr. Lamar Jackson, it's on you now.
Hey, absolutely.
It's on you.
Absolutely.
Right? It's on Lamar.
It is. It is totally on him now and the new coaching staff there.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
All right, I want to pop over to the WNBA. It's a bit of a shame, but the Angel Reese party is so over. Here's why. Not because, well, some of it is because she shot 1 for 12 against Washington. But basically it's because I lost 2 times in a row, and the books know that was a fortunate result for them. You guys will remember I bet a 26.5 against Washington, 29.5 tonight against Toronto. I understand it's because of the tempo and the pace, no pun intended, that they play at, but I'm not off of 2 losses betting Angel at this number. It was a good little run while it lasted. Gabe is actually probably going to still roll with it because the rebound prop's been super, super profitable. Me bringing the points in didn't help against Washington, but I have an overarching take for you when we have some time about this league, but I didn't love anything on tonight's slate, Gabe. I got to tell you.
The problem with for me with tonight's slate is the odds makers have caught up, right? I mean, they'll be slow to adjust. I like Sabali once again over tonight. She's been money 8-1 to the over. It's 13.5 points tonight, guys, for the tempo. She's got over 14 or more points. She scored 14 or more in 8 of their last 9 games. She's been their most consistent player, actually. Mabry's just completely hit a wall. But the numbers, Kevin. I mean, you look at the total of this game tonight. Listen, the Toronto Tempo are 12-2 to the over on the season on the road. All right? I mean, it's just been straight cash. But they're not very good. They hit the wall in these games all the time. So they'll have a great quarter, then they'll score 6 points. Then they'll have a decent quarter, then the last 5 minutes of these tempo games are torture. Sometimes try to get to the number. But you're playing the highest scoring team tonight, Kevin, and it's just the number's so high. I mean, we're talking, 187.5, man. Speaking of the Knicks, I mean, we've had these are like low NBA totals now almost. They're only 40-minute games, guys. We're playing a 40-minute game. You got to get 188 points. You need a clean ride. The Tempo don't play defense. They're giving up like 93 points a game over the last month. So they combined for like 205 or 206 the last time they played. So I'm betting the over here, but the numbers are high. The Tempo are getting 15.5, and then I mean this Storm team, Kevin. They're young, they're athletic, they're going to be good in a couple of years, but they don't win. Is this a game where they win tonight? I don't think so. I think the Chicago Sky can beat them. The Sky are 9-1 against the spread in the last 10 games, guys.
It's impressive. They were a talented team. You and I talked about it, kind of the injury The injury really set them back to Rickea Jackson. It just took them a long time to find their footing. One thing I want to say with Toronto and their totals, Gabe. So a week from tomorrow, the Tempo hosts the Indiana Fever. If everyone is healthy, I think we get the highest WNBA total in history. I think we get 190.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to know. We'll look it up. What is? It could be 193.5, 194.5 even.
I think we play over. I know I'm giving out a
should be noted too
now, but
they play 2 games in Vancouver next weekend, actually. And crazy enough, I won't be here. The Toronto Tempo. I can't make that up. They're playing Portland next Friday, and they're playing Vegas next Sunday, actually. Both at big advantage for Vegas and for Portland. It's like 3,000 miles. It's like they're not, like the Tempo are the ones taking this long road trip out to the West Coast. Meanwhile, Vegas and Portland, it's like going to be basically quick charter, boom, boom, like, real fast. Yeah, like the Tempo will have the crowd pulling for them and cheering for them, but just from a scheduling spot, and then coming off, you just brought it up, coming off that Fever game too. So big week for them next week. Play the Fever and then go to the West Coast. They'll be worn out by the time they get to the West Coast.
Yeah, I was going to say, Gabe, they're playing Indiana in Toronto. They go to Washington for a back-to-back and then have to head out to that, little Vancouver run there. We've talked about it. This Tempo season has understandably fallen apart. I don't think I don't know about, you're obviously more of the fan of the team, but I don't feel like anybody's looking at Brundello like, oh, she can't cut it. Sykes got injured.
No.
Mabry's up and down. There's a lot of rookies that contribute to this team, right? They built a little foundation. Next year's a big year for them. I think that's all fair.
It is. And it's, it's almost, they can't be fairly judged this year because of the injury situation that they've had. But we'd be in denial if we said it's not a little bit of a disappointment the way things have gone, right? I mean, they're just getting smoked now, right? They look like an expansion team, right? They didn't look like an expansion team. For what I mean? Now, like,
it's a really
Kevin,
good point.
You look like an expansion team. There's times like I was like, you just look like a bad, you're trying, but you don't have the depth, you don't have the talent, you don't have the youth, you don't have the speed, you're getting killed on the glass. But you lose Sykes like that, Kevin. I mean, she really was scoring like 20, 25 a game. Right? Yeah. How's the difference? You take 20, 25 away. She was more consistent than Mabry. She was like, she takes it to the rack. Mabry shoots more. So Mabry's going to be hit or miss with her shots, but Brittany takes it to the rack, right? So, but it's a success as far as the commercialism of it, right? The fan base is strong. The city understood they were going to take some lumps. I just think it's been a little bit rougher than they would like right now down the stretch. But honestly, it's probably for the best. They get a better draft pick.
Yeah, I really agree with that across the board. They were, Gabe and I talked quite a bit about their regular season win total. The first 10 games, it was, they're going to fly over this number. And what's followed up is surprising to me as somebody who bet the win total under. Again, we've talked about
let me ask you something about them. Because this might help you with this. Kiki Rice was playing really well, right, before she got hurt. She was another injury. No, listen, Olivia Miles has been awesome, so Kiki wasn't going to win the Rookie of the Year, but she was playing really well. She was scoring 13 points a game. She plays defense. She got hurt. Since she's been back, she doesn't play that much. I think they're doing it deliberately. I think, like I said, I think they're kind of tanking a little bit. And I'm telling you, like, Kiki, she was so happy. She's a very positive type of person. Like, I haven't seen her smile in a month, Kevin. Like, she was on the bench. Like, she's always on the bench at the end of these games all the time. That's what's weird.
I'm not used to it. And also, she went to UCLA, right? They won 100 games in 3 years. Like, right, guys, I want to bring up one more WNBA thing. We're going to circle back to your baseball board a little bit, but I wanted to temperature check something with you, Gabe, because over the weekend, the Lynx had a back-to-back at home, one against Vegas and one against Dallas. They sweep it. They win one by 11. They win the other by 13. And I'm not acting like this is some hot take or I should, oh, wow, how brave. But I'm kind of getting to the point now, Gabe, where I actually can't imagine someone other than Minnesota winning the WNBA championship. Like, I understand, like, you have to break through, but they really are in their own class right now. I mean, Gabe, they're 20 games over 500, a 9-point differential. They are just demolished. Gabe, the other night, like, usually you have one star player. Kayla McBride scores 43, 10 made threes, sets the single game record. They are loaded, this team.
They are a super dangerous team. I just can't help but get over the night that they lost to the Sparks last week when I was on them. And going back to the playoffs last year when they get in these close games, because they do seemingly, they've been rolling teams right now. I don't know if I thought you were going to bring up the debate about the Vegas Aces not playing their players, right, in this game. But I'm not taking anything away from the Lynx. And you kind of, we kind of knew, and I should have just went right back to them after their coach basically said, like, how bad they were. That's how high the level of expectation is there with her. They're having this awesome year. They had a bad game against the Sparks, and she ripped them pretty good after the game. Right? She said they were terrible, bad basketball. Like, that was an embarrassment. People pay money for this. Like, and then they responded after. And I wonder, does Vegas running out of fuel a little bit, right? They are an older team, so I think that's why Becky was looking at the big picture. And also, I don't know if she didn't want to play her players and then lose anyways type of thing. It was a little psychological warfare moving forward, Kevin. But they are a class of their own. Like, there's certain levels to this. And I don't look at anyone in the East like on the level of Vegas or Minnesota personally. Like, I don't look at Atlanta as that their level. New York are just underachievers all the time. Not all the time. They won the championship, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not looking at the Liberty as a championship threat this year. Are you? I'm not.
No, but I just my difference in what you're saying is, Gabe, is I think the Liberty and the Aces would be in the same group. I just think the Lynx are now clearly above the Vegas. Doesn't look like there's anything. I watched a lot of that game. The commentators are like, I've not seen Asia Wilson have to work this hard to get the basketball. Forget score. Acquire the basketball all year. Like, and it's a regular season game, like you said. Awful loss. They were hungry as all get out, Minnesota, but that's the level
Vegas
this team
have
can
a target
get to.
on their back too. Teams get up for Vegas.
Always. That's always true.
Everyone's like, oh, Vegas are coming to town, right? So there's something to it. I mean, hopefully they play each other in the playoffs, right? Let's see how this plays out.
Yeah, it's funny.
But speaking of which, the game is coming up, and I wanted to bring up Reese. It's 12.5 now, her rebound prop. And I said it the other day. I said, oh, yeah, Twitter's going to blow up, and everyone all look at Angel Reese missing all these shots. I said, yeah, we'll now do the 16 rebounds. 7 of them were offensive rebounds only. So there were 9 that there weren't. She had 16 rebounds. It's been 11.5 so consistently. It's 12.5 now. I'm still going to bet it, guys. I'm going to bet it. I'm going to go over the 12.5 here, but there are games where that's sort of the low number. She gets to 12, 13, 16, 15, etc. Sometimes she goes off for more, but it is up to 12.5. I'm going to play it. Are you just going to stay away from her tonight? Those are going to be my 2-player props. I'm going to play Sabally over 13.5 points and Angel Reese over 12.5 rebounds, and we'll play the game to go over the number and hope for the best. I think the Dream should be able to hang like 100 plus. But
yeah, you're making me now.
They better if we're going to get this over.
You are making me think now. I'm foolish to not play Reese points and rebounds one more time, because She's
Plus,
off
the
this
tempo
one
were
for
bad
12
against the
games.
glass, too, Kevin. Remember that. The temp, that's their weakness. They don't have a rebound.
Yeah. Like following a 1 for 12 game, right, Gabe? She's probably going to try and get herself into the. Yeah, I'm gonna have to play it. I'm gonna play it one more time. Whatever. We'll go out. Angel Reese points and rebounds. I think we need 30 tonight, but honestly, she might score 30 against this tempo team. We'll get back to the baseball after a break. David Walsh, Gabriel Morency, in-game live right here on SportsGrid on a Monday night. Let's head over to your Major League Baseball board where the Mets jumped all over Bryce Elder and the Atlanta Braves. Elder gave up 5 runs and 7 hits already in this game here. We're scoreless. We're scoreless elsewhere, Gabe.
It's an under night so far, although we're just getting started right across the board pretty much. Pretty light night. There's more West Coast action this evening. But this Met team just keeps on getting it done. I've been betting, I bet the Braves quite frequently, but I don't trust Elder anymore, so I stayed away tonight from this game. And I talked about it earlier, and I said, man, the Braves are minus 140. The odds makers, sometimes you got to like read between the lines and understand the number is what it is for a reason. They're trying to invite you in and get you to bet on a team. But with that being stated, I think a lot of people expected Tyon to get hit tonight. Kevin, in Toronto, and as I stated, sometimes you got to look like deeper inside the numbers. Like a lot of people look, oh, he gets hit all the time. This guy, he's 2-6, or his ERA is 5 this or whatnot. It's like, yeah, all right, but the Boston Red Sox don't hit him, right? I brought it up as the start of the show, guys, here that the Red Sox players hit 200 against them. So far, they have 1 hit. I mean, they've gotten guys on. I mean, he's got a couple of walks here, but there's only been 2 hits in a baseball game, Kevin. So far in this game. We're going to the bottom of the 4th inning. There's only been 2 hits.
Yeah, it's always tough, though, Gabe. I'm sure you'll feel this when you're betting a dog. Now. That's so low. Don't you feel this, though, Gabe, when you're betting a dog and you get this incredible of a start from your starter? Like, guys, we have to be winning by now. 1 run, 2 run.
Yeah.
Like we have to be like, I'm not saying that you're in a bad spot, but I just know for me, when I bet a money line, and like, look, there's money line dogs, even money, and then you got a nice price tonight on the Jays. You really did. It's frustrating to me. Like but that's baseball.
Well, Tyon's done his job, right? You're right. Tyon's done his job. Like, you got everything I could have asked for from him so far. And he was probably only going to pitch another 2 innings anyways after this. They have to find a way, right? It hasn't been easy for them. And it's not going to be easy against the Red Sox and the Yankees right now. Like I said, it's like a playoff type vibe in that stadium right now. Not quite the same energy as last year, but it's a full house, and fans understand that this is it right now. They play the Rays as well coming up too, like the Jays. This is it. Like the Jays control their own destiny. The only thing is, I was thinking about it, Kevin, you and I talked about it. There's so many teams ahead of them that let's say they start beating the Red Sox and they beat the Yankees. They win the series. All they're doing is just helping the teams ahead of them as well. It's one of those weird deals. They need to hope that, like, yeah, we need to win and we need Baltimore to lose. Right? Yeah, we need to win and we need Seattle to lose. We need to win and we need, Cleveland to lose.
This isn't the time for them. It's such a good point. Playing the Yankees and the Red Sox is whatever. They want to be playing the Tigers and the Twins and the Rangers. Like, that's who they want to be handing losses to right now. And look, we joke a little bit about it. Can I say this though? They're 56 and 63 Toronto. I know they were in the World Series last year. The Seattle Mariners are also now 56 and 63. Couldn't I argue that's more disappointing?
Swept over the weekend at home. In what was their 50th
I think they might have been a favorite in all of those games.
It was their celebration, too. It was like their anniversary weekend and party and whatever, like celebrations. Yeah, what a way. I know. There's something to it. I mean, I don't even, it's funny because I remember the Mariners series, but who did the Dodgers beat last year in the championship series?
The Brewers. Remember? Brewers didn't score a run almost.
Was it the Brewers? Yeah, okay. So, so the Brewers haven't had that letdown, but Seattle and Toronto have both had that massive letdown this year. Both had a lot of players, some players in the WBC too. I'm not blaming the WBC, but there's, the Blue Jays had a few dudes that just never got it going. Yet what was weird though is I think some people thought the Blue Jays weren't going to make it back to the World Series this year. Right? Their odds were 22-1 to win the World Series, 18-1 and stuff. I thought they were underpriced actually. I was like, there's no reason why they're not going to be good again this year. Right? And I had some people know last year was kind of, last year was their chance and their year. And I think a lot of people expected Seattle be not be as let down this year. Right? That Seattle was going to be good again this year. And that's who they are though, Seattle, right? I mean, they go through these lulls right now, but this is what makes the American League what it is. It makes it interesting, but very hard to predict what'll happen. That's why we sort of come back to the same teams all the time. Right? It's the Yankees, the Red Sox, I don't know about want to dismiss the Braves. Talk about the Astros being dangerous, but is there any one of these wild card teams right now that could get hot because they're still there? You know a team we don't talk about that is in the playoffs as of right now? The Texas Rangers.
Yeah.
Rangers are in the playoffs as of right now. They got a 1-game lead in the wild card on the Detroit Tigers. The Twins are a game and a half back. The Guardians are a game and a half back. The Orioles are 2 back. The Mariners are 3.5 back, and the Blue Jays are 3.5 back.
DeGrom could have left, it seems, opted not to. Again, I think that might be more of a personal thing than I love playing for Texas or I believe the Rangers are going somewhere. The team game that I keep coming back to, and I listen, yes, I have preseason Tigers.
Yeah, you said the Detroit Tigers, right? And they're right there.
They have the best run differential now in the whole American League.
Also,
the whole
they
American
have a better
League.
record, guys. They have a better record than the Dodgers do since the trade. Dodgers have won 1 game since the trade. Tigers are 7-3.
And I am not going to make that.
Isn't that amazing?
But hold on. And how about this, though, Gate?
Like I said, the cloud is lifted. Yeah. You and I talked about it last week, right? Everyone in the clubhouse. No, Happy's not there. But, It's like, yeah, at least we don't hear about it every day. He's not the only guy on our team. We're having a good year, and that's all everyone's talking about. Like, you know what I mean? I think now it's sort of that, not like the A.J. Brown stuff, you know what I mean? But it's sort of like, yeah.
There's something to it, right?
Yeah, it's like, there's when the guy that is like sucking all the oxygen and the media away from the team. Like, imagine if you were a Tiger, you're having a good year, you had a game-winning hit and stuff, and you turn the TV on, it's all about Scooble, right? It's just this constant, not about you. It's not about the team. It's not about the win. It's about Scooble. Finally, it's over with. Guys get on with their lives.
Yeah. I mean, and they were playing better. But because I think you'll like this. Your point about, oh man, if only Toronto were playing XYZ. Here are the next 6 games for the Tigers. All at home. 3 against Cleveland, 3 against the White Sox.
No
better time to be playing good baseball. If you're the Detroit Tigers, no better time to be playing, your best baseball of the season. Like, should that team really be almost 4-1 game to win the Central? Detroit? I don't think so.
The National League is starting to get, it's not quite as wide open, in my opinion. Like, yeah, the Nationals are 4.5 back, but are they really, like, do you look at the Nationals going to make the playoffs? Let's give them credit that they are there right now. The Cardinals are 3.5 back. I don't look at the Cardinals as a playoff team. The Marlins, similar situation. Marlins win 5 in a row, lose 5 in a row, whatnot. They go back and forth, 500 caliber team. But San Diego will play themselves into this thing again, Kevin. They're right there. And I was talking about Philadelphia worrying about themselves. Philadelphia has a 1-game lead right now. You're hanging on by 1 game in the playoffs.
If you're the Phillies, you kind of need the Padres and Diamondbacks to, I don't know,
like,
cancel
what
one
a
another
massive
out.
Disappointment that would be if the Phillies didn't make the playoffs.
It's funny
without
because
payroll, very similar to the Blue Jays, right? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're the Phillies, I want to be talking. Like, if you're Phillies, you spend a lot of money too, so I'd shut up. Like, you guys have a top 5 payroll as well.
They fired their manager, Gabe, 3 weeks into the season and said, we need to turn this whole thing around. But they did it so quickly. That it now would be insane if they missed the postseason. It's a very interesting spot they find themselves in. We'll be right back here, guys. All right, guys, back right here on SportsGrid. We're about to get running in this matchup between the Dream and the Tempo. Gabe didn't take much, but he talked me in to the over Angel Reese points and rebounds. Again, very funny. I'm kind of giving him the blame for the pick that he's not even betting. He's on the rebounds, which has been
just the
winning
rebounds
more
for me.
rebounds. Gabe, the Dream are going to close at 15.5 here. That feels insane.
They don't cover much either.
I like this Atlanta team, but I don't understand this, really.
They are the team that doesn't cover either, right? The Atlanta Dream, they win outright all the time, but they're really bad against the spread. I want to get their exact home numbers up here right now. It does feel like it's a little bit much. We've seen with the Tempo, though, they get leads in these games. Like, really, I'll tell you what, the best bet for Tempo games, and I hate to admit it, but I finally started to do it. I'm just not on the air often when it happens later in the games. I'm betting against them.
Are you?
Like the other night, who did they play the other night? We were talking about it. Is it Golden State? I'll see that. I got their schedule right here. Who was it? It was their last game.
Yeah, Golden State, dude, or the Fire.
Yeah, it was the it was the Portland game. It was the Portland game. Dude, Portland, I bet Portland were short favorites to begin with, but Toronto were playing well earlier in the game. And there was one spot. It was like Portland were like minus 2.5, 3.5, Kevin up 6. And I've seen enough of this Tempo team to know that things get worse, not better, as these games go on. Like they don't come back in the fourth quarter. Like, they blow leads. This team could have a 13-point lead in the second quarter, and by the end of the third, they're down by 16. Right? They have these, like, long lulls where they don't score. That's the only stress job when you bet the totals with them. So you look at the other team's team total. But I kind of get that feeling tonight, Kevin. Like, how many times have we seen a Tempo tied after the first? Or whatever. It's 27-26 or, you know what I mean, 30-28, higher score, 24-22 after one, 48-47 at the half. And they end up getting killed in the end still. So the value, I think, tonight is wait a little bit. Let's see them hang around. Maybe you can get the Dream at minus 7.5, 8.5 at some point, then you jump in.
Guys, I mean, look, he couldn't be more right. When you get this many points, and it's a 3-point game at the half, I'm not trying to be foolish, but if I'm getting 15.5 and I'm down 3 at the break, I usually think to myself, all right, I'm in the clear. That's money made.
But we've seen time and time again with this team, that's not the case.
No, the score couldn't matter less.
Guys, there's times, you guys, where like me and Kevin bet on the Tempo, and we literally have like plus 13.5, and they're up by 9, and we're both like, we really need more. This isn't there's not like, there's a wave coming against you. Because you're right. A lot of times you're like, oh, how can I lose? Getting 13 and we're up by 13. Like, I'm up by 26 points. How am I going to lose? And it's only 20 minutes in the second half. No, they can lose. Like,
I actually think, Gabe, at the moment, they might be the lowest power rated team in the WNBA. The Toronto
They
Tempo.
are the worst team. I'm not going to deny it.
That's great.
Well, I don't know.
It's
like
never the Sun.
Seattle.
It's never the Sun.
Yeah.
I think Seattle get a little more respect. I think I could be wrong.
Have better younger players. Like, you know what I mean? We could give them that.
Yeah, people like betting on Flo J and Malanga. Like, there's something to it.
They are 11-15 against the spread. And it goes to show how good they actually were before, because the wheels have just fallen off for them. Right? Like, they were a money maker before the injuries, guys. They really were.
Yes.
Right? Yep. It's been night and day, the difference. I mean, they haven't won a game since July 12th. And the New York Liberty of all games. Remember that one, a 93-91 game? They beat the New York Liberty.
But, Gabe, what is the streak that stopped them from being on? They'd be on like an 18-game losing streak or something like that, I think, if it wasn't for
that Liberty
I'm not
game.
trying to exaggerate.
I could look deeper into their past results here, yeah.
Let me see. Yeah,
before the Liberty game, you're right. Yeah, they had lost. Lost 4 in a row before that one too.
Yeah, so they've lost 12 of their last 13 games. They'd be on a 13-game losing streak if they didn't beat the Liberty by 2.
And they've only covered 3 times.
That's insane. They are getting. I didn't realize, like, until I looked at it, Gabe. They're getting drilled. like drilled a lot of the time. I mean, the
Especially
Atlanta
in the
game they
second
lost
halves.
by 19, Vegas 26, Minnesota 32.
Especially in the second halves. That's where the wheels fall off.
Yeah.
You know, the Golden State game was actually the one that they covered. You know why? Golden State aren't a great offensive team. So Golden State, Golden State getting control, and they were up 77 to 62, whatever. They were never really panicked. And the tempo hit a couple of late shots and covered. But there's been, and look, what happened last time they played Atlanta? 111, Kevin, on them. Their team total tonight is 102.5, which seems high cosmetically, but I think they get there.
That's why
they gave up 111 to them last time.
It's why I ended up playing it, Gabe, because I said to myself, like, well, of course the number's higher. They're playing Toronto. Like, this is you got to realize, like, it's going to be a different environment, right? Compared to your CFL games.
It's a 10-8 start.
Well, you know what it is right now? Mabry's just bombs away. She thinks she has it. She's made 2 of them, but there's not it doesn't look pretty, is what I will say to you right now. Like, I've gotten the game
she
up.
has.
I don't know if you do.
She has the worst release, like, shot. Like, I'm not going to question her. Like, she knows what she's doing, but, like, she just flings it, Kevin. Like, you know what I mean? She kind of snaps it. Like, she kind of, like, just pushes the ball, like, in this weird, like, no touch. Like, she kind of launches them. Like, they come in hard. Like, she just sort of launches these shots, but she's very hot or cold. So Kiki Rice is on the floor now. She hasn't been playing much. We'll see. But like I said, they're hanging around early, 10-8.
I wonder, Gabe, if Marina will almost, like, Toronto start to get good, and she's like, you know what? I might need to go to a bad team again. I can't go back to this whole, like, 5 shots a night. This is my new life. He loves it.
I want to go back to...
All right, guys, back at the right here on SportsGrid. We have baseball running. We've got the Dream of the Tempo running. But again, we're also getting ready for the NFL season. I just saw a tweet that says Aaron Donald has the 4th best odds to win Comeback Player of the Year. So I'd like to take this time to tell you that entire market should not exist. Based on the league's changes, Aaron Donald isn't even eligible to win Comeback Player of the Year, guys.
Is he not eligible?
Coming off injury. Yeah, they changed the rules.
Oh, you can't come back from retirement.
Was going to win it. Yes, and then they gave it to Flacco over Hamlin, and they changed the rules. They're like, this isn't supposed to be for Geno Smith, who won it 1 year, over like Saquon. It's supposed to be someone who's coming back from injury, basically. That's really what they want it to be. That is not Aaron Donald. So his 4th best odds.
What book is that at?
Betting that. It says FanDuel. I'll try and pull them up for myself. Yes, 4th
you gotta
best
love
odd.
though. See, that's not right. They've got to take that down. People are betting something that's impossible to win.
Yeah, but can I tell you this, Gabe? I'm not trying to defend the book. I might be naive in saying this. I'm not sure they know. Like, people are probably asking for it. Like, because in history goes to guys like Donald, this award. But they changed the rules. So it's supposed to be for Mahomes, who's the favorite, off a torn ACL, right?
And Mahomes is the favorite. Malik Neighbors coming back from injury.
Yes.
Micah Parsons.
Yep, absolutely. Jaden Daniels and his arm.
Daniel Jones.
Injury. Oh, boy.
Daniel Jones.
I got to tell you, I'm at a point now, Gabe. I feel like understand NFL injuries. Like, he tore his Achilles. I don't understand how he's like supposed to play week 1.
You buying into the Colts?
It's bizarre.
The Colts spent a lot of money on a few players, right? They're pretty top heavy, but the players that they paid, I like Jonathan Taylor. I'm not saying Jonathan Taylor's not a stud, but you got a lot of money, man, paid to Pierce, Daniel Jones, and Taylor right now. Yeah. Like that's their big 3, but is that a real big 3, or is it they're just their big 3? You know what I'm saying? Like, for the money that they're paying. The division is manageable, I get it, but at the same point in time, the Texans are a good football team. Jaguars are a good team as well. So I'm not like fully like invested in the Colts. I'm not saying they're going to be bad. I'm just kind of indifferent about them, I guess you could say. And plus, did Daniel Jones kind of peak a little bit? But Mahomes at plus 185. That's the odds I see for the comeback player of the year. How is it not Mahomes, Kevin? Like, how is Mahomes not going to win this?
They'd have to miss the playoffs, I think. Right? That feels like really, I guess, or like, I don't know if Jaden Daniels is like way better than him. I don't know if you think that's on the, I don't know if you think that's on the board.
He's the second choice, actually, Jaden Daniels. Kyler Murray. Was Kyler Murray even hurt last year? I guess he was. I thought he got benched.
It was a weird injury, though, right? Like, I don't even understand his injury. Like, I don't think people are giving it to Kyler Murray.
Comeback player of the year is kind of in the league. He just didn't play. Or they almost just said, we're going to move on. You want to move on. Let's just sort of like move on. It was one of those
Some of these are almost disrespectful. Now I'm going down the board. Like, I understand, like Brian Thomas Jr. at 60-1. Like, he was just bad. Like, he didn't like really get hurt. Like, he played in a playoff game against Buffalo.
Yeah, look, and is Nick Bosa on this list every year, Kevin? Because he's always hurt. So, like, I guess Nick Bosa is just a perennial. He's listed like permanently. And I see Aaron Donald listed right now at Bet365.
See, yeah.
Which, like I said, books don't know, but you can look, ethically, you could argue this two ways. You could say, well, casinos and books can't be taking sports bets and action on something that can't win, right? But at the same point in time, it should also kind of be up to the person that's betting to be aware that you can't win, right?
Like, so I just looked at the tweet, Gabe, that referenced it, and you know how quick people are to get like angry about stuff like this. There's not one comment that says he can't win it. Like, I'm telling you, like, people really don't know, but that's why I'm taking the time to tell people, not an option. So don't bet Aaron Donald to win comeback player of the year. Angel Reese, please stop fouling.
For me, Ohtani is the MVP, even if he pitches 15 games a year and that's it. The guy's the best hitter in baseball, or one of them, and pitches, even if it's 15 games a year and he's great. Sign me up. I think he still wins, but I think I like the other investments there.
Yeah, I would say we're in total agreement on this. Ohtani's going to win the award, but that doesn't mean that A, he's a good investment at this point, and B, another player isn't a good investment.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
What Michigan have to play versus Penn State is insane. Like, instead of Big Ten teams worrying about SEC and all that, like, Michigan fans should not be happy about what Matt Campbell gets to walk into. James Franklin's got to be kicking himself. Penn State do not play Oregon, Indiana, or Ohio State. They avoided the entire Big Three of the it's incredible.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
You know, the dark days are ahead for the Warriors. And when Curry and Kerr and Draymond all leave, what are we going to be looking at that franchise that has been a mainstay of the NBA, you know, the face of the NBA and NBA playoffs for so long? Where are they going to be? So I see no issue with them bringing Draymond back. Why not? You have one last go at things with the trio that they still have there. But I see this as a very long season.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Just can't win the big game. He can't get us in the big game. Well, we got to let him go now because we're tired. We'll keep the quarterback. So, you know what I've been saying? Okay, you kept the quarterback. Guess what? Mr. Lamar Jackson, it's on you now.
Hey,
It's on you.
Here. Absolutely.
Right? It's on Lamar.
It is. It is totally on him now and the new coaching staff there.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Back at the guys right here on SportsGrid. Toronto's opened the scoring against Boston as Charles McAdoo with the second career home run. I got to be honest with you, Gabe. Not all too familiar with Charles McAdoo's game.
There's a lot of
that's a new one.
I'll be honest with you. I've been watching the Jays games, and I don't know who half the players are now. there's a lot. I'm like, I don't know what the hell this guy is. And that guy just got called up. Whatever. They're out of bodies, man. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They got a lot of Buffalo Bisons on the team right now.
Nathan Lukes is up. It's funny. You and I were talking a little bit about just kind of the
1-0 Jays though. They're battling.
Yeah. We were talking about their series with Philly, and I always find it very funny when a player has a good series and you have that the opposing broadcast. They were getting very annoyed that Lukes was playing well. And you can tell, like, he's just having the series of his life, this guy.
The Phillies crew?
Yeah. Meanwhile, it was the second game of the series. Like, it's basically disrespectful to say that because he hit a big home run. Like, it's a series of his life.
Yeah.
He'll never do this again. It's like, come on,
It's funny
guys.
you say that, though. The condescendedness of so many local broadcasts, Kevin. You're right.
Yes.
I got the same thing. I was watching a Cubs game the other day. They were just so condescending of the other team and stuff. It's like, guys, like, like you win all the time, right? Like, this team, and like, same thing. Like, there's just that sort of like, the Mets were bad like that. Like, Cohen's, I like, they got a great crew and stuff, but
yeah,
he went off about the Marlins once being like a total joke and this and that, and like barely a big league franchise. And they pointed out they've won a World Series more recently than you have. Yeah. So, and been in the playoffs more recently. Went down a list of accomplishments type deal. Like, so yeah, there's no one in the park, but they kind of got a point here a little bit. But yeah, I get a laugh out of that. Like the condescending nature of, and they always take it like, it's almost like a deflection, right? Take a shot at the other team. Because I see a lot of Blue Jays broadcasts. I usually get in the Blue Jays feed, though, but, like, it's open season. Because the Blue Jays are kind of arrogant team. So, like, teams, like, and broadcasters seem to enjoy them struggling right now.
I mean,
you know who really gets into it? Michael Kay. He's another one, too. Michael Kay is, like, very dismissive of the Jays and, like, just very, I forget his last statement. He said a few things that finally upset like the Jays enough that their broadcasters started taking pot shots back.
Well, so what I was going to say, Gabe, is I'm obviously far more familiar with Michael Kay than a lot of the other commentators, but I think some of it is like the radio background in that like Michael Kay doesn't just show up to the ballpark and call a game. He also is like doing 2-3 hours of radio, doing callers, and I guess like he is in the take business almost as much as he is in the broadcast.
That's why
business.
I don't think he should do national games like he does sometimes in the playoffs.
But he doesn't do a ton of them. But like I remember he was doing the A-Rod cast for a while.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying he gets like the wild card, one of the early ones. I'm not promising he's in the rotation this year, but he has been.
Yeah,
and
interesting.
He is so dismissive of every other franchise. Right, that he's not like Joe Davis, the Dodger guy, right? He's the Fox guy, but Joe Davis is very Joe Buck like. You know what I mean? Like he does the Dodgers, but
standpoint, I can't with Joe Davis. I can't, and I'll never get over it.
Do you think he's a homer? Otherwise, does he sound like a homer?
I will tell you what I think, and I believe it to my core. He did everything he could to jinx the Blue Jays winning the World Series because they had like 1 out in that 9th inning. And he went and they congratulated their organization on the accomplishment so ahead of the game. And I remember
he was going reverse psych, eh? He was 100%. Going reverse psych.
And I know people will think that makes me sound like a lunatic. I'm open to that. You will never convince me that there was no reason to be that far into the congratulations period of a series that had been playing the way that had been playing out. It was nonsensical. There's no reason to think that was over. Well, because Miguel Rojas was coming up. Dodger history tells us what happened was going to happen. And he's like, wow, you just look at these guys, so gutsy. Bo Bichette, his father. Vlad Jr., his father. Schneider. Kirk. Varsher. Shut up! And it worked. And it worked.
You're going to make Blue Jay fans cry. They were so close. They were so close.
I had plenty of tickets. Had plenty of tickets that I thought were knocking on the door.
I remember that game like it was yesterday still. And I remember like there were like, I don't know, half a dozen times that I thought we were done. I was like, yeah, this is not going to end well. This isn't going our way. And like, and then, just coming down to the last at-bats and stuff. But they found a way. And speaking of which, Sasaki, once again, Kevin, evidently that glove made a big difference. That big yellow glove, huh?
Can't get over it.
4 starts in a row now. 4 starts in a row now.
I can't get over it, man. They gave this dude an oven mitt, and all of a sudden he's everything they thought he was going to be. It's the most ridiculous thing in baseball.
How many other pitching coaches are thinking right now? I just got to get a bigger glove for my guy? Is this it?
Right. Yeah, it's going to become the standard. Like you can't mess around with it anymore.
It's funny though, the glove, how it's yellow and how big it is. It's just like the white's yellow. He's got like it looks almost like a novelty glove. He's got this big, like massive glove, and they're like, no one will see your hand now ever again. And it's been working for him.
I was watching the Yamamoto start because I had played a few Yamamoto props. And before he put the ball in his glove, I think it's because you've told me all about the Sasaki stuff, Gabe. Like he was just kind of like he was standing there palming it. Do you know what I mean? Like before he went to the glove, he was standing there palming it, like almost out in the open. I'm like, what's he doing? He's going to be get him the Sasaki glove. What's going on here? This guy's crazy. He's going to get rocked. And like obviously they didn't really hit him. The Dodgers, the Dodgers didn't have anything for Fott that day, which was nuts. But it's now like in my mind, like I'm watching these games. I'm telling you, like, the Sasaki stuff could become the standard. Where it's like,
you know what though?
Even if you're not tipping pitches, why wouldn't we give you a bigger glove? Like
I forget what pitcher it was. Kind of a big league journeyman type of guy. If I heard his name, I remember. I just saw him do the interview the other day, and he talked about how he was on like 6 or 7 different teams, and he got traded to the Dodgers, and he said in the first meeting, the Dodgers came up to him and told him, "You've been tipping this pitch, and you've been doing this, and we've known this for 7 years that you've been in the league, but you've never been on our team. But now we're going to tell you." And he said that, he goes, guys, I've been on, he named all the teams. He goes, I'm not insulting any of these teams, but he goes, this, the preparedness of the Dodgers staff is like none other. Like he basically said that he learned more about what he did wrong. He learned more about scouting reports about the other players in the league. And every other player will tell you that. Like you get to the Dodgers and they're like, yeah, they'll tell you like, stand here, go there, and the ball always comes to me. Like they're astounded by how good they are at this. The Dodgers are very analytical, right? Like they're very analytical defensively about where players stand. And going back to the World Series, look, they won the World Series because of a lot of those defensive plays last year.
Yeah, I think that what we've seen in today's game is you have to try to find every advantage possible because of just how good, especially these pitchers are. Like, I want to be clear, I'm not giving credence to a rumor, okay? But there were people who said, Boston have to be cheating, Astro style. There's no way they are all of a sudden this good. And I'm not saying I think that's true, but it's just this idea currently of baseball, like, in order to really perform, there almost has to be some edge that you found, and like tipping pitches and stealing signs, like the guy on second, like it's a really, really big part of the modern game. It is.
For me, Ohtani is the MVP, even if he pitches 15 games a year and that's it. The guy's the best hitter in baseball, or one of them, and pitches, even if it's 15 games a year and he's great, sign me up. I think he still wins, but I think I like the other investments there.
Yeah, I would say we're in total agreement on this. Ohtani's going to win the award, but that doesn't mean that A, he's a good investment at this point, and B, another player isn't a good investment.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
What Michigan have to play versus Penn State is insane. Like, instead of Big Ten teams worrying about SEC and all that, like, Michigan fans should not be happy about what Matt Campbell gets to walk into. James Franklin's got to be kicking himself. Penn State do not play Oregon, Indiana, or Ohio State. They avoided the entire Big Three of the it's incredible.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
You know, the dark days are ahead for the Warriors. And when Curry and Kerr and Draymond all leave, what are we going to be looking at that franchise that has been a mainstay of the NBA, you know, the face of the NBA and NBA playoffs for so long? Where are they going to be? So I see no issue with them bringing Draymond back. Why not? You have one last go at things with the trio that they still have there. But I see this as a very long season.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Just can't win the big game. He can't get us in the big game. Well, we got to let him go now because we're tired. We'll keep the quarterback. So, you know what I've been saying? Okay, you kept the quarterback. Guess what? Mr. Lamar Jackson, it's on you now.
Hey, absolutely.
It's on you.
Absolutely.
Right? It's on Lamar.
It is totally on him now and the new coaching staff there.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
All right, back with the guys right here on SportsGrid. I wanted to just throw a question your way, Gabe. You know, you mentioned we're closing in, right, we're less than 3 weeks away, college football. How do you like to approach the college football futures market in terms of where do you invest and when do you like to invest?
You know, I sort of, I do like the college football future market a lot, more so than other sports. Now, I think futures are good. I think they're winnable, but obviously your money is tied up and you're only getting even money back, right? So at times, you know, I'll make the decision, well, if the total is 8.5, but this team wins 9 games, you're going to make the playoffs. Like Michigan's a good example of that, right? Like if their total is 8.5, yeah, and I think they're going to go over 8.5. They win 9 games, they're probably going to get into the playoffs in Michigan. And you're getting like plus 200 to get into the playoffs, right? So I'll debate that. But one thing I like the most, guys, about the college football win total future bets, it's quick, right? You bet NFL, you know, you're going to have to wait 4 months, right? You bet Major League Baseball future, you're 6 months. NHL, God, it's long, right? Major, et cetera. You bet a college football win total, Kevin. I bet Missouri last year over 6.5. They started the season 7-1. I won like right away. I knew their schedule was soft to start the season. They're going to win a bunch of games, and I didn't even care that they lost games at the back end, right? So you get paid quickly. Like it's basically a 2-month process. I mean, think, guys, a lot of win totals, college football, over-unders, whatever, 5.5, 6.5. That's only 6-7 weeks of games, right? And whatever. So basically 2 months in, 8 weeks, you place your bets in for September college football. By the end of October, you basically won or lost your bets for the most part. With the exceptions if you're betting on over under 11.5 for one of these big teams to actually lose a game at some point, whatnot. But I am a fan of the college football win totals. I've got about 10 or 12 teams circled right now. I'll add a couple of more teams to the list, and I'll end up taking a couple of them off. You know what I mean? You sort of get, all right, do I really want to bet it? Yes, no, dig down deeper. But I feel pretty good about my totals coming into the year. I have not pulled the trigger yet. I haven't put the plays in yet. But I do have about 12 college football teams that I plan on betting their season win totals. And they're mostly unders.
Yeah, I noticed, because I think a lot of people, you go conference by conference, and I'm just going to throw out random. Let's just say, hey, I really like Indiana under, Oregon under. Oh, I like Ohio State under. Oh, it's because you know what? I think I'm just high on USC or I'm high on Michigan. I'll consolidate that into one pick, right? Instead of betting every single team, you'll notice, like, you know what? This might be where the win totals decided. Let me, instead of having, spread this across 4 teams, I can really kind of key in here. And I think that that's something I'll be looking to do. But one thing that I think I've found true for myself in a course of a college football season is I will eventually find a team that I really, really like that is trending, and I want to give myself the freedom to bet that team. So I've told you this. I think Notre Dame is really, really good. I do think Texas this year are really, really good. I do not have much interest in betting them at 6-1, 7-1. I am likely going to take a team, Gabe, 50-1 or longer from a national title, give myself a nice number, but leave myself open to the top of the market, week 5, week 6, really getting some more information on these teams.
Well, something you brought up, like a team like Indiana is a good example. Let's say you think Indiana goes backwards. Their schedule doesn't really get tough until like 6, 7, 8 as it goes on. So that's my whole point about you're going to have to wait a couple of months. Right now, one interesting market I see right now, they have the starting quarterback battles up right now. Alabama starting quarterback, Keelan Russell, minus 275, Austin Mack, plus 210. Right now, little quarterback battle there. And
this
we got
is great
Florida
information.
State.
I didn't even know that was out there.
Yeah. This is at Bet365 right now. So you got Alabama starting quarterback, Clemson starting quarterback, but Clemson is minus 900. And you got Florida State, Philo's minus 150, Tramel Jones Jr. plus 120. So you got a little real battle going on there. From what I hear, it is going to be Russell at quarterback for Alabama this year, and Bama wants to get back to running the football more. right? I think, and that's the thing. I mean, you have a coach, DeBoer goes in there. He's kind of a pass guy. His offenses are kind of finesse, right? We saw what he did at Indiana. We saw what he did at Washington. It was a pass-heavy offense and kind of finesse speed type of offense. But Alabama's lost their physicality over the last couple of years. You can just sort of see it. Defensively, they're not as disciplined. They take a lot more penalties. They're just wilder, and you can just tell they're not as well coached defensively. And offensively, you know, it's the SEC, right? The DBs were faster than what he was seeing in the Big Ten. There's just like a lot of little adjustments. I don't think he's really ever had his quarterback that he wanted. But I know Alabama talking about going back to like sort of running the ball more. You know, Grubb was talking about we're going to be running the ball a lot more this year. We're going to go back to real Alabama football. But I bring this up because I do find the to make the playoff market interesting from that other sort of back end, Kevin. Right? Like to me, you got Boise State in this new Pac-12, and they actually get the benefit of the doubt. Like the winners going to the playoffs. So I think Boise State have a playoff spot pretty much wrapped up already, Kevin. And you have that big UNLV Memphis game to start the season that will have national, you know, the playoff implications for those teams. They're going to they can't lose that game. They're going to want to make it, one of those teams. And I tell you, there's a lot of love for Hawaii to make the playoffs this year, Kevin.
Yeah. Because, well, that's what happens, I guess, with Boise freeing up that conference, right? Moving over to that Pac-12.
Exactly. That Hawaii could be that other team, you know, that other one.
I just wanted to ask you quickly, do they have the Tennessee quarterback battle up or just those three you mentioned?
Just those three.
Interesting, yeah. The Tennessee battle's another one that people are, you know, really keen on. I got to tell you, though.
I have NFL ones, too. We've got NFL ones and we got, four or five of them listed. You got the Browns listed. The Chiefs are listed, but that's more so Mahomes injury related. Nah, but the NFL market is all heavily priced, so we'll hit this up.
Yeah. We'll lock all the picks in after the break.
Right.
For me, Ohtani is the MVP, even if he pitches 15 games a year and that's it. The guy's the best hitter in baseball, or one of them, and pitches, even if it's 15 games a year and he's great, sign me up. I think he still wins, but I think I like the other investments there.
Yeah, I would say we're in total agreement on this. Ohtani's going to win the award, but that doesn't mean that A, he's a good investment at this point, and B, another player isn't a good investment.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
What Michigan have to play versus Penn State is insane. Like, instead of Big Ten teams worrying about SEC and all that, like, Michigan fans should not be happy about what Matt Campbell gets to walk into. James Franklin's got to be kicking himself. Penn State do not play Oregon, Indiana, or Ohio State. They avoided the entire Big Three of the it's incredible.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
You know, the dark days are ahead for the Warriors. And when Curry and Kerr and Draymond all leave, what are we going to be looking at that franchise that has been a mainstay of the NBA, you know, the face of the NBA and NBA playoffs for so long? Where are they going to be? So I see no issue with them bringing Draymond back. Why not? You have one last go at things with the trio that they still have there. But I see this as a very long season.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Just can't win the big game. He can't get us in the big game. Well, we got to let him go now because we're tired. We'll keep the quarterback. So, you know what I've been saying? Okay, you kept the quarterback. Guess what? Mr. Lamar Jackson, it's on you now.
Hey,
It's on you.
Absolutely.
Right? It's on Lamar.
It is totally on him now and the new coaching staff there.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
in-game live on a Monday night on SportsGrid. We're going to put all of our remaining picks on the board. There is a lot of good stuff to get to on the West Coast baseball. However, I'm going to potentially squeeze myself on time to give picks because I was like, you know what's a good little way? We'll pop a number here on a Monday night, Gabe. New fantasy football league. I told people I'll reveal the draft order at the end of the show. So I'm just going to pop this up quickly. The boys in the back made a little graphic. That is, if you are in this league, for everybody else watching at home, this is completely irrelevant to you. This is the draft order for a brand new fantasy football league. We're off and running
Tom,
here
not Vecchio.
On a Monday in August.
Tom, not Vecchio.
Right.
And another
Tom,
Vecchio.
not Vecchio with the first pick.
I'm starting to get a lot of emails about fantasy football right now as well. So, yeah, football season is here. I'm always of the belief I like drafting. You know, I like to have these fantasy drafts sort of like after the meaningful preseason games and everything is sort of set in stone. You know what I mean? After that third one or now, second one, whatever the hell it is. Third, there's 3 now. But the Hall of Fame
3
guys play 4.
Yep.
But, yeah, the Hall of Fame teams play. But can't wait for that Viking games. So, J.J. McCarthy, plus 600 to be the starting quarterback week 1 for the Minnesota Vikings. So, the sportsbooks have decided that it will be Kyler Murray.
Which tracks. I think that Justin Jefferson wants it to be Kyler Murray, and I think that's kind of the deciding vote. Because otherwise, Justin Jefferson is going to ask out of Minnesota.
I think they wanted McCarthy to be the quarterback, but he's never done it, right? It's weird because they've won games when he's played, but he's hurt all the time. And that's hurt his development as well, right?
100%.
So it's just been one of these, we can't hold the entire franchise hostage, even though I do like you. I think Kevin O'Connell does like him, right? But they're good, and there's not that leeway. They're not some sort of team starting over or anything like that. So I understand why. But one thing I'll throw at you about this is simply injury, Kevin. Just throwing it out there. Mahomes is 10-1 to be the starting quarterback in week 1. Justin Fields is plus 550. I'm not, let's say Kyler Murray wins the starting job and gets hurt in practice the week of the game of week 1. Then you got J.J. McCarthy at plus 600. So, like, these bets, Kevin, when I say this, like, yeah, you know what? McCarthy at plus 600, Justin Fields at plus 550. What if there is a setback? What if there is a setback? That they say, you know what, Mahomes, we're going to wait 2 weeks, actually. Like, he's not quite ready yet. Like, we're going to wait. And we're going to go with Fields for week 1.
The Raiders had Minshew versus Aiden O'Connell, and Ian Rappaport tweeted out, it's going to be Minshew, and I beat the book. So it was like minus 150 Minshew. I beat the book, put down a good amount because we're not betting on a game. We're betting on a fact, and the fact was tweeted out. And the second the bet was in, I was sick to my stomach. I just ponied up on Gardner Minshew to win a job. He won. But there's still like 2 weeks until we play football. He's going to practice.
Yeah, so you have to. So every day you're like, God, what? Don't get hurt.
I was
don't
like following Raiders beat reporters. Like, yes. I was like, yes, Gabe. Like, truly, I was like, I can't do this. Like, it was the worst. And the worst was, Gabe, they played 4:00 week 1. I'm like, just start this game. Just start this game. Like,
even more. See, injuries happen. So that's what I'm saying. And it's happened before where a guy gets named, and then, hey, yeah, he was named the starter, but he got hurt. So, JJ, you're up. You got to be ready, right? Or Mendoza and Cousins. Mendoza's plus 550. Justin Fields, and for the record, Deshaun Watson's minus 350. Shedeur Sanders. So if you're buying in a Shedeur or anybody, Shedeur Sanders is plus 240 to be the starting quarterback in week 1.
Seems like they want to go with Watson. That's what everything suggests.
Once again, injury would be the only thing. But
100%.
We are talking about a sport that injuries happen.
Yeah.
Now, they redshirt these quarterbacks, and no one's going to be touching them like as we get closer to the real games and all this type stuff. But just throwing it out there, right? If I'm not saying that Mahomes, like Justin Fields, is winning the starting job, but I'm saying maybe Mahomes won't be ready for week 1.
Yeah. Just quickly, Angels money line, Rockies plus the 1.5, Rays money line, and then Dodgers score first. Gabe, on a very happy birthday to you. What do you got to close out tonight's show?
Thank you. We're going to go with the Dodgers minus 1.5 runs, minus 125. Scooble on the hill here tonight against the Royals. Dave Roberts talking about a sense of urgency, said we're a wild card team right now. We're going to start winning. So it starts tonight. Speaking of which, I don't know if I'm falling into a trap here, but give me the Houston Astros minus 140 in the Bay Area. And how about Peralta, Kevin? You talked about him getting his first start in a Mile High City. Now he goes to Sacramento. You can't make this
brutal.
up.
So brutal.
Give me the Rays, though, minus 155.
Of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, the oldest and the newest combat sport. Bare Knuckle Fighting had its last champion in 1889, ending the sport's chaotic beginning without weight divisions or round limits and no referees. Over a century later, Bare Knuckle Boxing returned with a modern spin.